Imagine a social network built for you, not for profit. Imogen Network puts control back in your hands, combining AI-driven personalization with blockchain-backed ownership. Your data, your content, your rules. Create stunning content, build genuine connections, and monetize your work, all in a decentralized, transparent platform where privacy is prioritized. Ready to experience social networking reimagined? Join Imogen.network today and take control of your digital world. Imogen Network, empowering connections, redefining ownership.
Click the link at the top line of the descriptions to get the app now. Man, Snoop Dogg is in some hot water after he, pissed off, for lack of a better word, the LGBTQ community. Now, it started with Snoop Dogg. He was on a podcast, It's Given podcast, and he was talking about going to the movies with his grandson to see a Pixar movie. And a particular scene came up in that movie where two women were raising a child, and his grandson pretty much questioned him, like, what's going on here? And he said, look, he was caught off guard. He didn't have any answers. He further went on to say he don't even want to go to the movies, right? Because he don't know what is going to be shown. Pretty much insinuating like he don't want his grandson seeing this. He don't want his grandson exposed to this, right? Because that's just not the way he rolls. All right, we talked about it. About a week went past. Ever since then, though, the LGBTQ supporters have expressed disappointment pointing to Snoop Dogg's appearance on the L word as contradictory. Others argue he was reinforcing outdated perspectives by questioning the inclusion of LGBTQ storylines in children's media. Disney and progressive writers also weighed in, with some accusing him of slamming gay stories and movies and aligning with conservative narratives. Now, he did apologize after days of online scrutiny and calls for accountability. All right, so let's break this down. Here is my analogy. Hey, before I get to that, Snoop Dogg said that his gay friends, because he does have them, called him and said, showing him love. And he also went on to say, my bad, teach me how to learn. I'm not perfect. So in a sense, he apologized. He was very sorry, for what he did. And that's that. Here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. Now, for someone to apologize, like let's say if you call your girl fatty, she call you fatty, and she ain't like the joke, right? And you like, I ain't really mean nothing by it. But, she gets pissed off. I say, you know what, babe, I'm sorry. Or she calls you fat or whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that. That's fine. But it don't take away from the fact that she's still fat. And I got a stomach and I got love handles. I got some work to do. You feel what I'm saying? So, to me, it's the same type of situation, right? It's almost like, here's another one. You know how when you're younger, or your kids are younger, and the Santa Claus is what's preached in dominant society. Santa Claus is what's marketed, what's shown. So we think Santa Claus is putting stuff under the trees, and you let kids kind of run with it. Santa, 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 oh Santa, I want to take a picture with Santa. You don't necessarily crush their dream and say, look, he ain't freaking real. Mommy and daddy's busting their ass 80 hours, 7 days a week to provide and put this under the tree. You don't crush their dreams. You just kind of let it ride, knowing that one day they're just gonna know, like, this shit wasn't real, right? It was a fairy tale. To me, it's the same type of situation here. Now, when you talk about Snoop's grandson questioning two women raising a kid, it can happen. Absolutely, it can happen, right? We see it all the time, even two men doing it. It's not what we're accustomed to, but when you start getting to the factual things about it, we know that it takes a male and a female to create a child, right? And that's what I think is the crux here. Is like, I see mommy, daddy, I see aunt, uncle, I see, like, this is what we see. Your friends got daddy, mommy, all that. And it's like, all right, we know, all right, daddy and mommy come together, they make me, son. may make me daughter. And that's just what it is, cut and dry. Not to say that two women can't come together and raise a child, or two men can't come together and raise a child by any means, right? However, we know what it takes to procreate. So I think this is where Snoop's grandson is coming from. Like, it just caught him off guard. And Snoop was like, look, I don't want to go to the movies no more because I don't want my grandson exposed to stuff like this, because you don't know what you're going to see in these movies now. Which is his prerogative. It's his that's his thoughts, that's his ideology, that's his prerogative. He can feel that way if he wants to. I think where it starts to get spooky, right, is when now you see, okay, now it's a clear agenda, right? Now they're pretty much saying, all right, we're going to show this in the movies. Disney saying, this is what we're going to do. We're doing for what, I don't know why they're doing it, right? But this is what they're going to do. We're going to show same-sex couples. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And if you dare speak out against it, we're going to form Voltron on you, squeeze you out, and make you apologize. Again, I don't have a problem with the apology. I don't. Because if you offend someone, you offend them, you should apologize because you offended them. Also, I do not support any hate of any group, any prejudices, racism, none of that. I'm totally against that. I never agree with that for people. And I know they have a whole history of people attacking them and slurs and all that. I'm with none of that, right? Whatever you do, I feel like if you want to, that's your preference and all that, you should be free to do what the hell you want to do. I'm with it. Do your thing. That's not what I choose to do, or whatever the case may be, right? And maybe Snoop and his grandson don't choose to do it. Fine, right? But I think you have a group of people that also are saying, look, we don't want this promoted either. We don't want to promote it to children. And that's why I think you have, the crux. That's why I think you have, I know you have, okay, heads butting. Like, all right, look, we get it. You're free to practice your lifestyle. We understand it. But my children are sitting down in movie theaters, and we don't want them. We don't want to open them up to this lifestyle. Now, if they want to go that way when they get older and 18 or whatever the case may be, that's their choice. But I don't want to expose them to this at this young age. And the parent has every right. Just like you don't want to expose your kids to drugs, you don't want to expose your kids to whatever, gangster rap. You should have the right to expose your kid to whatever you want to expose your kid to, and not expose them to whatever you don't want to expose them to. So, in that decision, you might have to make the decision to say, all right, we're not going to be going and I'm going to vet this stuff. Like, I don't want to watch movies that have this. I don't want to do that. And that's perfectly fine in your choice. So that's how I feel about the situation, man. The whole conservative thing, I think that's when it starts to get political. And I think that's what, lines get drawn, things get blurred and all of that. And you put somebody now into a category and, whatever the case may be. I'm not even going to jump in that pool because that's not even my lane of expertise, the conservative. I don't give a shit about none of that. I'm just speaking from my point of view in a whole situation. Right. So that's my thoughts. Let me know. I'm going to throw it to y'all. I'm going to throw you the alley-oop behind the back. Whoop. Or behind the head, whatever, right? What do y'all think about Snoop Dogg apologizing? And be respectful in the comment section, please. I want to hear what you guys, and women, guys and women feel about this. Please be candid. Please be professional like you always do. And I'm interested to hear what you guys got to say. And how do you feel about what I said? How do you feel about Snoop apologizing? And how do you feel about the LGBTQ community, pretty much forcing his hand and calling for accountability and, putting him under scrutiny for about a whole week after he said what he said? I really want to hear what you guys say, and make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on the video. Thumb up the video, and, let's have some good positive conversation and good positive thought. Also, make sure you check out our sponsor of the video. Go grab the app by clicking the top line of the description box. And if you want to advertise with us as well, boom, right there. You can advertise with us, OGOD at hiphopun.com. That's OGOD at hiphopun.com. You get your brand or your song or you, whatever you got, email me right now. We can get working today. The month just started. Let's get it started right. Let's get some eyes on your business. Let's get out of that rut. Let's get some sales. Let's get people listening to your music. Let's go instantly get it in front of hundreds of thousands of people per month by emailing me at OGOD at hiphopun.com. I can't wait to talk to you. Leave a comment, and before you get up out of here, thumbs up the video. This segment is called We Can Be Superheroes Too, The Journey of Christina. Now, Christina Nightberg, Little Wolf, once again endures another battle in her sleep with ties to an event 17 years earlier. Claudia Little Wolf Caesar, Christina's mother, fears the worst as she races to her daughter. It's happening again. Shyla Little Wolf of the Muskiki tribe awakens from his meditation. It's happening again. What is it? Shyla feels a presence coming from outside. Shyla notices a police car near their home. Stay with the neighbor. A strange patch of clumpy blood. This is not blood of a normal man. You did good, big brother, by marking the beast. I will do even better once I avenge you. The darkness slowly comes alive. The fear of the dark is overshadowed by his eagerness to meet the one who prowls in the night. What? The dark comes more alive with every step he takes. This night seems similar to the tragic night her husband gave her the same instructions as the daughter Christina continued to struggle. Now, if you want to grab a copy of this book. This is brought to you by our wonderful visual artist Bright Tall and the writer Stephen Hippolyte. The link will be at the top line of the description box. We Can Be Superheroes Too. We're going to be doing passages from his books for the next couple of weeks. So I encourage everybody to support this brother and his beautiful work and bringing back black superheroes back to life because they're trying to kill them all. So this is a great work. Very affordable. The link is at the top line of the description. When you purchase it, let them know that you got it or you heard it on Hip Hop News Uncensored. Let's keep this thing going. Stay tuned for part 2 tomorrow.